Well, I'm glad you could join us. As you know, America's Cup has been a major event for a number of years, and of course, been trying to get it back to the Bay Area, and we've had all kinds of people who are behind that project. Some other people, I think, have been dragging their feet, frankly. Mike Martin is here right now. He is the project director for America's Cup. Nice to see you, Mike. Where does it stand right now?
Well, right now we're working hard on a lot of planning to bring these special events here to San Francisco. One of the most prominent pieces of that is a people plan to talk about the strategy for bringing spectators to the events along the waterfront. But we're also working hard on the environmental review document to show sort of how we're able to bring this event forward in a way that's sensitive to the environment and really showcases a new era of the America's Cup as a green event.
It's interesting about the environment, though, because when you think about beautiful sailboats in the bay, and we talk about environment, in what way is it going to be impacted? Are you talking about the people who will be watching this, or along the shore, or what?
Exactly right. I think it's in both in the bay and along the shoreline. It's going to be a lot of interest, a lot of people coming to very sensitive areas, including a lot of the parklands along the northern waterfront of San Francisco.
Crissy Field and all those
Crissy
places
Field,
down there.
the National Park Service lands, Marina Green,
Right.
As well as there'll be some new infrastructure facilities built at the Port of San Francisco lands along the northeastern waterfront.
Okay, so
And
there is building, that's new. New building will go on in there, is that right?
That's right. That's right. There'll be cleaning up and retrofitting some piers to be where the team bases are at Piers 30, 32. And then also at Piers 27 and 29, they'll be building the core and shell of the city's cruise terminal that'll also house hospitality and sort of an America's Cup village area where spectators can come and participate in events, exhibits, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember when they were running the boats out there and testing boats and stuff in the bay before, and that drew a lot of people just to see the boats out in the bay because they're amazing. The dates set for this now are starting when? Because it goes over a period of time.
So the America's Cup events themselves are in 2013. The Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Series will be from July through August of 2013. And then the America's Cup Final is in September of 2013. Prior to that, there will be what's called an America's Cup World Series regatta. It'll be the same boats, but it won't be directly related to the standings for the America's Cup. And those are in 2012, likely in the August-September timeframe.
Okay, next year. Does it take this much planning? People will say, 2013, why are you talking about it now? It's because this takes so much planning in advance to get something approved.
Absolutely. Right? I think there's a lot of planning to go with in terms of coordinating what happens on the water space, and this is the first time these races are in a bay as opposed to offshore, and so we really have to figure out how to coordinate that traffic. As I mentioned earlier, the people plan, the transportation strategy for getting these spectators to these locations. It's somewhat of a challenge in that these waterfront locations aren't the easiest places to get to. And what we're trying to do is get on the front end and get that information out to people to understand the strategies we're using to use transit, to use bicycles, to use other methods besides the private automobile that can really help us do that.
Okay, there's one other thing too. There's a lot of traffic on the bay.
Absolutely.
I mean, ferry boats, private boats, people, fishing boats.
Shipping, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, who is in charge of regulating that? The Coast Guard, or are they the ones who are #1 responsible for that?
The Coast Guard is leading on the on-water planning. They'll develop some special local regulations that'll regulate how traffic will move during the events. But obviously, we also have to deal with the other jurisdictions that have jurisdiction over some of the water space, including cities, counties, the National Park Service, and others. So all of that is sort of a complicated dialogue that we've already started on, and that's part of what's going to fill up the time between now and then.
Well, it is a major event, and I hope it does come to San Francisco, and even if there are some problems in developing it, So we can look forward to some trial races in 2012 and then races in 2013, is it right?
That's right, but we're also looking for people to get engaged on this planning process. We've got the people plan posted at the website, americascup.com/San Francisco. We're looking for public feedback, and we're going to be continuing to give updates on how we're developing that plan so that it really makes sense.
And that's why you're here today, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and Mike, nice to see you. Mike Martin's been our guest, and he is Project Director for America's Cup San Francisco. Thanks very much for joining us.